Welcome back. With 90% of Americans wanting to age in place and home care being the preferred method of healthcare delivery, 38% of family caregivers find their situation highly stressful. If your family is considering a new care solution, it is one of the most important decisions families have to make, so it is vital to know all of the facts. We're joined this morning by Right at Home Client Care Coordinator Bethany Hobbs and onboarding specialist Yarrow Schultz to find out more about the stresses on family caregivers and how to choose the right care provider. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you for being here this morning. For those who don't know, what is Right at Home?
So Right at Home, it's a privately owned caregiving facility or an agency. So we hire caregivers to care for our clients, and it's all private pay.
Being an at-home caregiver can be extremely stressful. What brings on some of that stress?
The changes in the personal life of someone that you love, and kind of being a primary caregiver, you're dealing day to day with the changes in life that are being enacted in this person's body and world, and it can be very stressful to be kind of carrying the weight of all of that.
Now, when choosing a new care solution, if someone should, want to look at Right at Home, for instance, what are some of the questions that they should be asking when considering these ideas?
When I'm talking things through with potential new clients, we talk through a lot of different topics. People want to know a lot about our caregivers, which is Yarrow's area of expertise. Yeah. We also talk a lot about how to create a care plan so that the needs are really apparent, are really straightforward, and as care needs are changing, I'm the care coordinator, so I'm staying up to date on those things. I talk a lot with clients about how important it is to kind of know about the things that are happening for the individual's, needs. We also talk about, like how to really pair someone up well with a caregiver, how to make a schedule that works, how to make a relationship that is functioning. And we talk about our hiring process and how we bring caregivers in, and this helps people feel safer and helps people feel more secure in the process of bringing someone into their home. We talk about background checks, things like that, and that pairing process.
Now, are caregivers insured?
Yes, definitely. So we want to make sure that they're insured both vehicularly and then just licensed and bonded as well with our agency. So that helps clients feel a lot safer, or family members leaving caregivers with clients.
Now, you mentioned that caregivers are screened and background checked, and that provides a lot of comfort as well, but are they verified that they can legally work in the United States?
Definitely, yeah. We do have a fairly thorough process that we walk each applicant through, and of course if they're not qualified, then we'll have to let them seek employment elsewhere.
How does the company handle all of the taxes?
State taxes are added to the hourly fee. Okay. So we go through all of that. We're very upfront about what to expect on the invoice so that people aren't surprised by what comes through on that. There's a mileage fee for the use of the caregiver's car, but beyond that, Right at Home pays a private agency. Part of what you're paying for is for the caregiver's taxes and appropriate wages to be dispersed by us. So it's just the state tax consideration.
Now, earlier you mentioned the care plan and how important that is to go over with the caregiver and the family and what the needs are. Who is in charge of that care plan overall?
In our agency, me. I am. Yeah. So kind of keeping up to date. So there's an initial intake process, which is done in person, and usually over the process of a couple of phone calls and a couple of home visits, and just really getting a thorough sense of like gathering, really collecting that, getting a good clear picture of what's happening in the individual's life. And then also staying up to date. So a lot of what we're doing, a lot of my office time is checking in on people or visiting them in their homes, giving them phone calls, keeping those relationships going so that I'm aware of how those needs might be changing and how that care plan might be needing to be updated. Okay. Yeah.
Now, for someone at home who's watching this interview and they think they can really benefit from the help you guys provide, how can they find the information that they need?
Well, you can definitely call our office number, which is 505-266-5888.
Okay, and do you guys have a website as well? Or?
We do.
Okay.
It's rehalbuquerque.com. I think there are a few different websites. So no matter what, if you search Right at Home Albuquerque, you'll find us.
Okay, perfect. And we'll have that information on our website as well. You can head to alwaysonkrqe.com for a full recap of that interview.